What is up, YouTube? That's here today. I'm back playing more Pokemon VGC 2023 Regulation D ranked battles, and today we're busting out a Hex team that uses Hex Specs Dragapult, Hex Ghost Tera Chi-Yu with a little bit of status from a Glimmora in the back. This is a pretty cool rental team submitted to me on Patreon for our official team fixing submission post. You guys can check out the same post right here. Even the lowest tier on Patreon, the $2 tier, gets access to this whole post. Every one of these teams, as well as all the other teams that I make. This team is submitted by Ghost Panda, and they basically said they wanted to build a team around using statuses, using Hex. They needed a little bit of help with their EVs, and basically just making sure that they have the right monster, the right situation. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. You can see the team they submitted here. EVs need a little bit of work. They still need to use all of them here. 252 used incorrectly with Sash. Lando needs to be cleaned up. Hands needs to be cleaned up, and the Trainus, I would say, needs to be cleaned up. It's not like any of these are wrong. I think these are really, really good examples of someone that's learning how to play competitive Pokemon that just needs it explained to them in a way that they can understand, to where, like, you need to be able to hit these speed tiers, hit this much attack or special attack, and then you can throw the rest of these stats on these hyper-aggressive teams into bulk with preferring HP first. So hopefully you guys like this little team building guide that I'm hopefully going to be able to put together for you guys today. But I do think the Dragapult is a very underrated Pokemon in the meta for Regulation D. I want you guys to let me know the answer to the question today. What do you guys think is the best legendary, like pseudo-legendary Pokemon? Sorry, pseudo-legendary. So not like Mewtwo's, not like Arceuses or Zacians, but like Dragapult, Dragonite, Metagross, T-Tar. What's the best pseudo-legendary out of all of those Pokemon? Let me know in the comments. And without further ado, let's get right into these games. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Is that Stonejourner? Dude, I actually have a team that's coming out with one of those relatively soon. That's kind of cool. That's probably one of the better wide guard users of this format is Stonejourner, so I gotta watch out. I will say that, like, Intimidate Armourouge and Trick Room in general is probably a pretty hard matchup for this team. And I was thinking to myself, like, how do we actually want to win the game once we get up the Hatzers with Glimmora? Like, Glimmora can go for the Mortal Spins, it can get up its Toxic Spikes, but they don't have any mons that can actually, like, sit there and, like, wait out the rest of the game. And so it's going to be kind of hard. We don't have that much AoE either. Like, we have Landorus with Earthquake, but no, we wouldn't have Earthquake, sorry, it's Stomping Tantrum. So I don't actually think we can get up TR, which means we're going to be in a situation where we have to bring Chi as a defensive mon, and then I guess try and punish them for... Oh, this is just not good at all. This is just not good at all. Like, if we can lead both of these, they have to Expanding Force, but then choose. Yeah, this is just, oh, I hate all of this. Let's lead with Glimmora and Chi-Yu, because they have Protect, so we can start waiting out that Trick Room. Hands is a good mon to underspeed if we need, and then we should be bringing Dragapult here. This is just so hard. We have no way to actually wait out the Trick Room correctly. We have no way to stop the Trick Room if they just want to go redirection Trick Room. But we need to still lead with mons that have, like, some semblance of, like, aggressive play. I do like the Glimmora Chi lead here in case they want to switch it up and go with, like, an aggressive Garchomp lead. Okay. So this is where, realistically, if you had Dark Pulse on your Chi-Yu, you'd probably be in a pretty good spot. If we were to take a look at your EV spreads right now, right? The Glimmora is Sash, and it's full health Poison Tera. It doesn't really do anything. And then the Chi-Yu, it's full special attack, but it doesn't have Dark Pulse. So in situations like this, we could definitely clean up some of this stuff. I think the best play is probably just to Mortal Spin and try and realistically... we can't even, like, Mortal Spin into, like, activating Hex. I think we just have to Heat Wave. And then this means we lose to, like, a Wide Guard Trick Room, which is so dumb, because, like, it would normally, you know what I mean? Like, normally that would never be the play in the situation. The opponent would just automatically lose to a Dark Pulse. But I think we're going to be, like, low-key fine, because, like, what does that board do with the Trick Room that they're going to get? It sucks that they're blocking both of these, but, like, you can have your Trick Room. You're not really getting anything out of it. Yeah, Mortal Spin gets blocked. Next turn, we're going to go for the Protect Chi-Yu. Probably just go for, like, a... Yeah, I'm probably just going to go for the... I wonder if they have Earthquake on that thing. Skill Swap. No Trick Room. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's weird. This is a physical attack, so it would activate that back on us. Oh, what a weird game. What a wild and crazy game. We can just swap out then. Like, just swap in that guy. Don't really have to care that much about what's going on here. I'm just going to Wisp this guy then, if Trick Room doesn't go up. Skill swap, huh? You really want Toxic Debris that bad, buddy? So, the reason why we're also swapping is in case we ever actually activate the Toxic Debris. Like, maybe they're going to even activate it by Earthquaking or something weird. We just swap back in the Glimmora and take away the Toxic Spikes. Weird. I don't know what that was. Gravity. What is this guy's deal? Psychic. I mean, it's a good move. Oof. What is his hand spread? Hold on. It's oh, it doesn't have any HP investment. All right, this is my first game of the day. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm trying to play Pokemon. There's like 84 HP investment hands on the board. I don't like this, man. We have Grass Tera. I don't think it's worth using. I don't really want to swap into either of these. I thought that hands would eat that way better. And so realistically, when you have an Assault Vest on like that low of an HP investment, you can't actually max out your Assault Vest. Like basically you have a huge Speed F stat, but you can't really do anything with it. What do we really want to do here? I think I'm fine just taking the L. All this could just be solved if we had Dark Pulse, by the way. If we just had Dark Pulse, easy peasy lemon squeezy, but we don't. I'm going to have to Hex this guy off the board. He's probably going to Wide Guard. Alright, he's done. Nice. Got a crit. We didn't even need it. They're going to KO the hands, and that's fine. We're then going to probably have to bring in Dragapult. I know that the Chi-Yu is cutting the Speed F on the hands, but like you need to have a little bit more HP investment to make sure like Orangurus can't just two-shot you, right? Can't be having that. Alright, we're going to go Dragapult here. If they go like Armarouge, I still think we're fine. Urshi. Cool. Urshi Water. I wonder if they're going to go Aqua Jet. This is the stupidest, weirdest game in Pokemon. But hey, you know what? It's like, it's being able to win these Clown Fiestas that make the difference. We have Dragon Tera. Don't think we need it. I'm just going to nuke the, I'm just going to go Heat Wave and Draco. Realistically though, we have Glimmora in the back. This is fine. I want to overspec Urshi. They're Scarfed. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We had Ghost Tera, so it's nothing we really could have done. Scarf Urshi does outspeed the Pult if played correctly. And Specs Draco Meteor should be able to take them out. Nice. And then it's up to the Oranguru. And then what is the last Mon? We're stuck just with this Glimmora here. Weird, weird game. Instruct. Oh my gosh, they're trying to go all in. Nah. I do think against Armarouge we could still have some use, but it sucks that our Tera types double dip stats that we don't, or Tera types that we don't need. Garchomp, huh? Okay. I mean, we're gonna double dip our dragon. And realistically, we can just go for the Mortal Spin, I guess. But like, we can also just go for a Spiky Shield. I'm gonna go for the Mortal Spin in case that is like a Sash Chomp or something really weird. We're at the mercy of them having a weird Tera. Like a Steel Tera or like a Fire Tera or something weird. We're trying to get this though. Trying to get this. What a weird game. There's so many little things that I've seen that we could fix on this team already, so that's good. I wonder if they're gonna go in the Oranguru. Oh, yeah, we take these. We're on ranked. This is such a weird. Maybe it's because it's like 6 in the morning, right? Maybe it's because it's like 6 in the morning. There's Dragapult's at like -4, but yeah, there's so many little things we can fix. The Dragapult, the Chi-Yu, the Glimmora, the hands, the Lando, the Taunt. There's a bunch of little things we can fix by going in and taking a look and changing on the EVs for this team. So anyways, we get the Mortal Spin up into that guy. Does get the Poison. It sets back the Toxic Spikes on us, but we don't have any more mons to bring out, so it doesn't really matter at this point anymore. And the Poison Spikes immediately disappear. Instruct. Not today, buddy. Not today. And so basically we just slowly close this one out. Shoutouts to Gravity for helping us hit our our Draco Meteors. Realistically, the best play here is probably just a Draco again and just go for like a Spiky Shield to elongate the amount of time that they're poisoned. Right, because that Oranguru has like some significant special attack investment, and we don't want to just die, right? Next turn we go for a Sludge Bomb or something. What do we have on this Glimmora set? We have Mortal Spin, Earth Power, Power Gem, so we'll just go for Power Gem. Not bad. Cool. And again, thank you guys for submitting these teams. I think, like, this is a perfect example of a person that had a good idea, didn't know how to capitalize on it, and I'm happy to help people that need like that next step into like making a team just a little bit better. But you can see through the things we talked about, like adding Dark Pulse on the Chi-Yu, adding a more bulkier hands, adding a little bit more aggression on an obvious Sash Glimmora. You can see how the situations where I talked about having those moves would be more beneficial for how the team needs to be able to be played to be able to keep up with like the current legendary meta. What a weird game. Craziest first game I've played in a little bit. But if we were to take a look real quick at the submitted team here, Dragapult seems okay. It's wasting EVs. Needs a better Tera type. Chi-Yu seems okay. It's okay, but I think it could be optimized. I think you need Dark Pulse on that thing, realistically. Glimmora, there's no reason to have full HP investment on a Sashmon, so we can change that and its Tera type. Landorus EVs need just a little bit of work. They're not terrible, but they're actually a little bit too slow and not strong enough to actually capitalize on anything the Landorus needs to capitalize on. Iron Hands needs a lot more HP investment. Does not need this much attack investment, in my opinion, because you just get absolutely destroyed. And then the Tornadus is almost, I would say, unusable because it's so slow. Yeah, it's so slow. Even in the Tailwind, it still gets undersped by like a lot of popular monsters in the meta, so we got to put some more speed on that guy. But overall, pretty first game. Now that I understand where this team's shortcomings are, we're going to play one more game and see if we can clean things up just a little bit and try our best to actually go for like the Hex plays. We did get one Hex KO, but we're going to try and get another one in game 2. So okay, Hisuian Typhlosion. How do I want to deal with that? We also have to respect their ability to go like Fardrath and just Trick Room us. And again, we don't have the tools to like wait out a Trick Room. If I was them, I'd be really trying to solve for X so Torkoal could just roll us over. Chi-Yu's a good Pokemon here. Hands could be good in some situations. I think Glimmora is more usable than we actually think. But there are so many flyers that we don't really need Glimmora here. We can definitely go Tornadus, and like what would we be enabling here? Tornadus is actually, I think, like, well, Landorus should be fast enough. No, because like Landorus isn't fast enough. We have to go Pult if we're going to be enabling anything. So this is our way that we have to go. And I would say this team highly does not want to lead Pult because we can't ever Hex anything like that. Because everything that sets our status moves, like the Will-O-Wisp on the Chi-Yu or the Glimmora, already has to like go and be active on the board. Like we already had to have used Chi-Yu or Glimmora earlier on in the matchup. That being said, what do I want to use to solidify the rest of this game? I think that we can go with our Chi-Yu, and I'm hoping that their Landorus isn't Scarfed, and if their Landorus isn't Scarfed, I think that our Landorus is just decent here. So let's go with this. But Dragapult's the main mon that we're really trying to use here. Dragapult, basically we have to lead Dragapult and our Tailwind, because Dragapult's our only mon that has over base 100 speed. Sorry, base 105 speed, which is the Lilligant. So if they were to lead Lilycole, we need something that we can Tailwind and then still be faster than. So they can't just go for like After You Eruption or Sleep Powders or anything like that. And so that's why you usually want to have like 2 mons that are relatively faster on these hyper-aggressive teams. Tornadus could have been that mon in some situations, but there's a Lilycole right there. So we need to like trade Tailwinds, and we can... There's 2 ways that we take this out. There's 2 ways that we take this out. Maybe 3. The first way is Tailwind, Flamethrower, KO the Lilligant. The second way is like Tailwind, just Draco the Torkoal off the board. The third way is we can just Rain Dance. And I don't think you should even have Rain Dance on this mon, so I'm not going to do it because we're taking this move off. We're definitely taking this move off. It's good in this exact situation, but you can see how I already listed 2 other situations where we already don't even need it. We're just going to Tailwind, and we're just going to Flamethrower the Lilligant. They could definitely be Sashed. No one's saying they can't be Sashed. But I'm not really that afraid, because even if they get like a big KO on one of our mons here, or put something to sleep, we just bring out something else that's good. Right, Sash is completely fine. Can we get a burn? Any burners? We take those. Don't need to waste a Draco. There it is. Yeah, we play those. There we go. So you can go for 1 cool turn, sleep out of the Pult. Absolutely fine. Let's see if they want an Eruption. And if they take out the Torn, absolutely fine. Now, I will tell you, Rain Dance would have been better here, but this is one of those situations where, like, it doesn't make us better players having Rain Dance in that situation, I think. It doesn't, like, get us, like, anything that we wouldn't have already had. In reality, it would have cut the power on our Flamethrower. We wouldn't have been able to burn. And since they had the eject pack anyways, it doesn't matter. So Lilligant's going to tick out. And who are they bringing in? Typhlosion. Okay. So Typhlosion is a bit of a bully. This is another situation where, like, you know, it'd be really cool here. Dark Pulse on our Chi-Yu. That'd be sick. But we're okay. So Lilligant goes down. I want to say they bring out the Torkoal. Damn. If they bring out the Torkoal right here, this would be the freaking ultimate Rain Dance turn the world has ever seen. Okay. Realistically, we just taunt them. And they could totally have Mental Orb. And the reason we're taunting them is because we already have Speed Control. And we're going to lose both these Mons, or at least one of these Mons. It doesn't matter. We have to be locked into this move. We have to be asleep anyways. We have Chi-Yu in the back. I hope they don't have Mental Orb, but we're gonna see. They're going all in on this Eruption. I've never seen someone go more all in on Eruption. And like I said, we could definitely Rain Dance here, but I don't think you even want to entertain the idea of having a Rain Dance on like a Flamethrower Pult Chi-Yu board. I think this is just a leftover Torn set that they took from somewhere else. I want to see if this is Mental Orb Torn on this side, on the opponent's side. Nope. So they can't Tailwind, so they're always going to be slower. Dragapult has to be asleep. We're going to lose our Torn. We're going to take a lot of health on our Pult as well. A lot. I wonder how much damage we do to that Typhlosion with Hex. And that's a really weird way to look at it, but, like, I wonder. So the thing is here, Dark Pulse would still just kill it. I just don't have Dark Pulse. I just want a crumb of Dark Pulse. Hex won't kill it. Even if we go Ghost, it won't kill it. Because it's so weak. It's like a 65? Yeah. We have Lando, but Lando... I mean, Lando's correct. Yeah, just do Lando. Let me think if it's worth it to switch out for Chi-Yu. I think that, like, Lando should be able to take this. Stomach Tantrum is great damage. Oh, this one has Rock Slide, which is the one on the paste that was submitted has Brick Break. Rock Slide is better, so good job. Let me think about what we want to do here. This Lando's not that strong. I don't even think it can KO the Typhlosion. I'm just going to go for the Stomping Tantrum. It's super standard, and then we're just going to try and Flamethrower, but, like, I don't think we're going to get anything out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they swapped out their Torn for Torkoal. Oh, that's the one switching out. That's fine. Yeah. Surprised they didn't switch out the Torn and, like, try and make me over attack into that slot. If they take out the Pult, that's fine. I get to bring in hands. Great damage here, yeah. I had to break this Torkoal anyways, right? Icy Wind. Got it. Makes sense. Takes out the Pult. Gets the speed control that they need. And I'm assuming that that's a Scarf Typhlosion. I'm, like, big assuming Scarf Typhlosion. So let's see. How many... I wonder if we have enough turns to even clean this up. Because this Lando does not have enough speed to make that work. Very surprised to see the Icy Wind there. Last turn, Tailwind. Chi-Yu's faster. I mean, Stomach Tantrum would KO the Torkoal, but I think it's going to protect. So I'm just going to go Rock Slide and Heat Wave. Should be able to get a double KO. And if it's just Heatran versus these guys, we might be able to get something done. I swear, this Dark Pulse. Just Dark Pulse. Dude, that's busted damage. Chi-Yu stonks out here. Alright. So let's see. Life Orb Chi-Yu. Whew! That's a lot of damage. Just one shot of those guys. Alright, let's see. Tail and Peter's out. Now, Chi-Yu has a higher base speed than Typhlosion, but again, we think that they're Scarfed. Big thinking that they're Scarfed here. They see our goggles. They see our orb. How many turns on Sun do we have? Last turn of the Sun. My idea here, I know they're just going to click the Eruption, so I'm going to click Protect. And I'm going to click, I think Hex is better, right? So this is a Sun-boosted stabbed Heat Wave. So Sun and Stab cut in half. It's still stronger than Hex. We just got to hit it. They're not Flash Fire. They showed Frisk. One can't even be Flash Fire. So this is still stronger. All we got to do is hit. And if we hit this, this will weaken the Eruption to where maybe they can't KO Lando with it. Maybe. There's the Eruption. They are Scarfed. They do outspeed the heck out of this Lando. And then the Sun will be gone. Maybe it'll be at like 30% and they can't roll it. I wonder if they one-shot Chi-Yu though. They might. Okay, we hold him. Crit there would have definitely taken us out. We Heat Wave back. Oh my gosh. And then that should be it. Cool. So they should not be able to KO the Lando with that weak of an eruption. And then we win. Alright, as long as they don't crit the Lando, right? I don't even know if that would KO at this point. I think we got it. I think we got it. They should have switched out the Torn. Yeah, they didn't do anything, bro. They should have switched out the Torn. The turn they swapped out their Typhlosion, right? Because they had a good pin going with the Typhlosion. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. We don't know what their... we didn't know that they were Scarfed that early. But, you know, they tried to go all in with the Sun team. And even without Rain Dance, we were still able to get the wins. So we showed a little bit more of how the team could play. But you can see that it's, like, chunky, right? You can see that it's chunky. Like, yeah, we have Tailwind, but our speed tiers are, like, not meshing together. Our types aren't really meshing together. So it's going to be my job to go into fixing this team, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go do this right now. And let's start by saying, if you want to keep these Mons, we can keep these Mons. But if it were me, I would add, like, a dedicated Mon that we can lead with, something like a Cresselia here. I know I've been a big fan of Cresselia. I think Cresselia is great for newer players. Maybe over something like the Hands. Something that says, I can lead with this and something else and go for like a Protect Thunderwave or a Protect Icy Wind. Or if, you know what, if one of my Mons gets statused, I can go Lunar Blessing and take that away. Safety Goggles for Cresselia does a lot of stuff right. It basically says you don't auto lose to Amoonguss. You never lose to Amoonguss anymore. And you have ability for multiple forms of speed control while also having like good damage and threatening the existence of like Rocky Helmet to disincentivize Urshifus. So that could be a Mon that you can also use to like wait out Trick Rooms from opponents or Trick Room their Trick Room if you let that go up. So Cresselia could be a very good option over something like Hands if you want to be that guy. Again, we need something to actually take advantage of the fact that we have these hazards that we can just kind of come in and elongate the game with. Otherwise, these hazards aren't really doing anything realistically. What are they doing? Enabling like a Hex and a Hex? You know, in both these situations, we'd probably just be better off with Shadow Ball here and Dark Pulse here. Being completely honest, we definitely would be. So let's think. What do we want to change while still keeping the team intact? I think that you can still keep all of these Mons. It's just you have to approach it with a much different take on the matchup. The Dragapult, for example. I think the Dragapult set's okay. You obviously need to put your last 4 points somewhere, so we can put that right there. If you want to keep the Dragon Tera double dip, that's completely fine. But I think you might actually be able to find some situations where, like, a Ghost Tera or even, like, a Fire Tera with that Flamethrower stab could be really, really good. I think Specs Pult is a good Pokemon. The question is, what do you think is the best pseudo-legendary Pokemon? There's definitely arguments for that being Dragapult. So, Dragapult's really fast. I think you do still need to be full speed on Dragapult. And if anything, you know, you could do something like this and basically just cut up these last 4 here. And just cut this into a 244. Makes you just a little bit bulkier, just a more optimal way of using your points instead of like 8 points in special attack, which you're already combining that with like Choice Specs and Chi-Yu. You can cut up that 8 into 2 sets of 4 to get 2 extra points in both HP and Spadef. So just a little bit more optimal to do it that way. And if you want to keep the Dragon Tera, like it did win us one of our games. So if it was working for you, keep it. The Chi-Yu though, you don't need Wisp. I'm going to explain how this works. You want to go for Wisp and then Hex and then have your Ghost Tera and do all those cool things. You can still totally keep the Hex on Pult, right? Because it stabs that move in its base. But in reality, any situation where you would like to Will-O-Wisp and then Hex with Chi-Yu, what are you hitting with that? Something like a Cresselia, you could just Dark Pulse the Cresselia. You saw that game against the Oranguru. You saw one matchup where we went up against like Into the Armorage. You need to just be Dark Pulse and things. Ain't no questions asked. I think a much better play would be something like Dark Pulse here. Right? And then in this last spot, you can still keep the Wisp if you want. You don't really need it. It's actually just Glimmora can do all of those things. I think you'd be actually better off just putting Taunt here. Taunt is going to make it so you actually can like pair this thing with Tornadus and still taunt correctly. You can taunt Trick Room setters. You can taunt Hisui and Gudras. There's a lot of really good mons that you can taunt here with Chi-Yu that you wouldn't normally be able to taunt. So again, for things that you can't OHKO with Dark Pulse, you can taunt them with Chi-Yu. You can also just put another coverage move there. If you want to put the Will-O-Wisp back, be my guest. Ghost Tera is still a good Tera for Chi-Yu. This is just a good EV spread for Chi-Yu. I think that you should still be full speed on an aggressive set like this, so it's okay. As for this Glimmora here, Mortal Spin's fine, Spiky Shield's fine, Power Gem's fine, Earth Power's fine, but then you don't have anything to really use this Poison Tera with, right? So you don't really need that Poison Tera. I think you'd actually, as weird as it sounds, be better off with Flying Tera here, covering up for the fact that, like, you are pretty weak to ground on some of these mons, and so your opponent's going to see that and, like, oversell centralize the fact that they can get away with like punishing you with ground moves. So I think Flying Tera is better than Grass in this situation. And then realistically, because we're so aggressive, we actually can just take and go for a 252 and make it just super, super standard like this. I think this EV spread here, sorry, I think the moveset you chose is great, but now we can actually like bully Heatrans on both sides of the board basically. You can even make this Sludge Bomb if you want, but I don't think you need to. Flying Tera is going to make it so you can actually pair yourself with Lando, which is actually really, really cool. So you can go for like Power Gem against Flyers, and then Landorus, you know, which we're going to go check out the Landorus right now. Landorus, you can definitely put that Earthquake back on here. Earthquake is really good. Like, what are you Earthquaking? Not your Glimmora anymore. You can protect your Tera. Chi you can protect. Yes, you don't want to hit your Pult, but you can pair Landorus with like 4 other things. Lando's not locked into that move. I also don't think that you need safety goggles on Lando. I don't really think that you do need the safety goggles on the Lando. If anything, Lando would be much better off with a Lumberry, in my opinion, because it works just as well as the safety goggles, but also stops you from Wisp. I think that's actually pretty important. Other things that Lando could use, you know, you could use Life Orb if you weren't using it on the Chi-Yu. I think Life Orb Lando is very good. I'm a fan, as odd as it sounds, of Leftovers Lando, like a big fan. But I don't think that that's what this team needs. I think the exact item that this Lando probably needs is, I think a Lumberry would probably go pretty well here. If you guys have any better ideas, maybe let me know. But I think a Lumberry is what I would probably put on this Landorus. Maybe even a Clear Amulet. I think a Clear Amulet could definitely be a good idea. Earthquake's not, I mean, we put Earthquake right. Brick Break, this was Rock Slide on the rental, which it should be Rock Slide. And then the Tera Blast. The reason why Lando's good is because this checks regular Heatran, and this checks Grass Tera Heatran. So it's a good mon. You can use it to pivot. You can also take out the Rock Slide for a U-turn if you wanted. But then going into the EVs, you need just a little bit more speed. 76 lets you outspeed things like Lycanroc if you have the correct speed control, if you have like a Tailwind and they don't have weather. So you need that. Sorry, if you have Tailwind and they have like, yeah, no weather, you're going to be able to, not Tailwind, sorry, -1 from the Bleak Wind Storm. This makes it so you're outspeeding Lycanrocs and everything else. So Lycanrocs, Mouse Holds, all those Genies that are like the 111, 112 area, you're going to be able to outspeed those with Lando after, you know, a Bleak Wind or maybe another -1 move that we have that we're going to add a little bit later. As for the rest of the set, this is a very, very bulky Landorus. You could definitely put the leftovers on this set, but we need to make sure that your Landorus can actually still Oko Heatrans. So it's going to take a look at the Landorus set. So Landorus-Therian right here, and see how much damage we need to Oko Heatran. Because that's like this guy's main job. And if you're not really vibing with the Landorus, you might think about maybe using a Gyarados here. Gyarados is a very similar job. Gyarados also covers over the fact that you have like water weakness here on both of these guys. Gyarados could be a water pivot, so it's just an option without adding another ice weakness that Lando does. So we got both these guys here. Let's plug in Earthquake, and let's plug in Tera Blast. Tera Blast, physical, make ourselves flying. Click the button just in case. And so we had 36 Adamant. Right, and you can see how it does quite a bit to a Heatran. Earthquake's going to always Oko that Heatran, right? We don't even ever have to look at that. Even if they go like full investment, they're still dead to the Earthquake. Now, if you're Intimidated, you will not KO that Heatran every time, so you got to watch out for that. But if they, that's why I recommended maybe using a Clear Amulet. It also make it so like you saw in that last game, we got like Icy Winded. It protect you from those as well. But if that Heatran were to go for something like a Grass Tera and click the button, you want to make sure that that actually Okos every time against a bulky Heatran. And currently it doesn't, right? So that means even if we were to go like 252, you know, it's a lot of investment. Take a bunch of these out. Tera Blast, so you need 172 to make sure you Oko Heatran. And I would say that like you probably should. So this can KO any Heatran. All you got to do is kind of just protect the first turn Landos out, or do something that forces your opponent's Heatran to Tera, because Heatran actually gives a lot of these guys problems. That's why it's worth respecting. It's what Landorus' role in this team is. And you can just bully the Heatran out of the game. And then from there, you know, I still think that heavy HP investment is very good. You can throw the rest of these points into like a 4-4 here. So it looks a lot less bulky, which it is a lot less bulky, but it's actually a damage threat now, which is good. And looking back on it, I think a Clear Amulet would be a better item on this guy. Maybe even sometimes like a Rocky Helmet, being able to swap in the Lando, intimidate something. Maybe like this could be used to like bait things that are going for like extreme speeds, bullet punches, any sort of like priority moves or something like that, you might be able to bait these and maybe use a Rocky Helmet there correctly. That could be very, very nice. But yeah, this set right here is going to be good at checking Heatrans. It's a great teammate for Tornadus. You can also check Amoonguss with this. Really, really just solid mon here. As for this guy, Grass Tera is a good Tera here. This is a good move set, but I don't think you need this much attack. We've talked before about the diminishing returns you get on attack on Iron Hands, and realistically, you only need about 60 points to be able to be a really, really big bully. You can then max that out, put those like this. I don't think you need this much speed either. I really don't. I think this guy, the max amount of speed you would really want is like 28. And this is a much more respectable Iron Hands looking set. So basically, this guy can actually still eat special attacks while the Chews on the board. We put a lot more in Spadef, right? And we put a lot more in HP. Remember, the Assault Vest is going to give you an extra 1.5 on your Spadef. So for every 1 point you put into your Spadef, you're going to get like an, you know, for every 2 points, you're going to get an extra one, right? You're going to get a 50% boost to whatever you put in this guy. So this guy's rocking around with like a 180 Spadef and like a 249 HP, which is great. It's not going to diminish returns on anything, which it happens basically when your respective HP stat doubles your defense stats. So it's a good solid spread. I'd highly recommend something like this. You could even think about making this Wild Charge into something like a Thunder Punch, but if you keep the Wild Charge and have this much attack investment, you still will be able to KO Tornaduses in one hit. So going to the last mon, Tornadus. This is just my opinion on this mon. I like the Flying Tera. I like that you actually have the Cloak and no Protect because you don't really need Protect to stop Fake Out because you have Cloak. I don't think you need this Rain Dance. I think it should be Icy Wind. You could also think about putting Scary Face here, but this ability for speed control is very, very nice. I think the Taunt's good. Double Taunt users are good to play against Mental Orb Mons. And then realistically, I would just click the button. There's nothing wrong with clicking the button in a lot of situations. And having a Tornadus that's not full speed is a liability in this format because you saw what we did in that last game. We taunted a Tornadus, and you can't have that. You have to have them risk their speed tier. You have to have them like see your Tornadus with their Tornadus and think, I'm going to taunt that and risk the speed tie. Because what happens if you tail one and they just taunt you? That's a game loss for them. Even because then at that point when they trade tailwinds because you already got yours off and you icy win them, them and their teammate are still too slow. So I think this is a much more well-rounded version of this team. We can lead things like Landorus, we can lead things like Glimmora. We have a lot more synergy because we added Earthquake, Flying Tera, better speed control. We can go for those statusing moves and the Toxic Spikes with Glimmora and then bring out Dragapult as a closer, as it should be used on this team while weaving in the Chi as a supplement in the mid to late game. So hopefully you like these changes. What we're going to do now is go play some games on Showdown and try and see if we can make the combos work correctly. So wish me luck. Let's hop right into it. All right, right off the bat, it looks like pretty hard Trick Room, right? They have a couple setters. Dark Pulse. Ghost Tera Dark Pulse. It doesn't get much easier than that. We have the Taunt too. So if they lead Far Draft, we can just taunt that thing. You can't taunt Slowking because it has Oblivious, right? But then what else do we need to bring? I'm about to just like one-shot something. Let's see. We could lead, we don't want to lead, we could lead Iron Hands. This is a solid lead right here. Fake out Taunt, Fake out Kill. Solid. Bring out Dragapult in the mid-game. Do we want Glimmora for anything? They have a Poison Mon, so like setting up those spikes isn't going to be very valuable. I like the Landorus here. Landorus is great at pinning the Rillaboom. There's their Rilla. So they have a faster Fake Out than we do, right? But that's probably not Mental Orb. That's probably Eviolite. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go Ghost Tera, Taunt. And the right play is to Fake Out that, but I'm going to swap in my Landorus, I think, just for an Intimidate. I could even swap in my Pult and get ready to go Flamethrower into that guy. And just go Heat Wave. Trying to think of how we can actually like finish this game off. Because we don't even need hands on the board. We want to be able to reset this Fake Out for later. The right play in this situation is actually Taunt and Fake Out there. Because we don't want to waste our Tera. Because this way we're still getting this off. Unless they're Inner Focus. They are. Nah, that's fine. I messed up. I could have actually played that better. It's fine. But this board has very, very low power. I should have done that. I mean, we were running out of time. I thought there would be Sap Sipper on that team. I really did. But this is okay. I don't think we're really that threatened because this board is just really weak. We can just go... I would say they're probably going to think they can just KO this Chi-Yu. I'm just going to Heat Wave and hard swap in my Lando, get the Intimidate, and not care about the Rilla as much. So even if they want to like Stomping Tantrum but doesn't get anything. Grass Tera double dip. Twin Beam crit. Never lucky. And who are they going after? Woodhammer. No, no, no. No, no, no. That's our Grass Tera down. Big damage. They're going to be able to bring out something that deals a lot of damage too. But we can just protect, pivot, come back in with our hands or something. Forges. Okay. So we have 3 turns here. I don't think there's an issue with double protecting. And then getting a board state over the next couple turns that looks a little bit like Hands Pult. I mean, can't really do anything about that Fortress over there just yet. We still have our Tera if we need it. So I think if we actually swap out our Lando for like Iron Hands, we might be able to get something done. I'm a Heat Wave there. Swap in the hands. Twin Beam. It's a lot of damage. You see how well we eat that, though. So much better at eating that damage. Chilling Water is going to take that out. It's a weird set. This is the last turn here. It has to be Lando. Alright, so this... What do we think is their last mon over there? Garg, maybe? Definitely go after that thing. I mean, we could realistically also just, like, Tera Blast there and fake out here. So fake out there. Good damage. Twin Beam. They're going after that slot, not the Lando. Very surprising. They're going to take a lot of damage on this far draft. This is also the last turn of the Trick Room and the Grassy Terrain. So we can actually switch over to Earthquake now if we really wanted to. We could probably get away with, like, Rock Slide, KO there, Chunk there, and Heavy Slam here. Awesome. Missed the Rock Slide. Unlucky, but the whole point was just to try and hit the far draft. Yeah, Drainicus isn't going to do it. Big damage. Yep. And I think in this situation, like, a nuke of that slot could be very, very nice. So Tera Blast there, and Heavy Slam right there. If they want to protect and Salt Cure something, I can't do that much about it, but we need to get that thing, like, off the board. And I think that we have the tools to break the Garg here. Yeah, I could have just played that one better, I think, by... Oh, they went for a Fisher Lamau. I could have played that one better at the very start, but like I said, it's still early playing these games. I think that... Well, they already Terra'd, right? They already Terra'd their Rilla, so I'm just going to go for the Hydro. I think we actually need it to break that Garg. I don't think Dragapult does it. Sorry, Draco Meteor does it. And then against this guy, realistically, just Drain Punch is fine. Hydro hits. Oh my gosh. Hydro busted. And Drain Punch hits. This guy's in the 1300, so it's like it's not like it's a absolute novice here. But yeah, look at this first turn. I realistically could have played this just a little bit differently. I could have wasted my Tera early, but I wanted to save the Tera because we were using Lando, and I felt that like Tera Lando was going to be so good at checking the far draft, the Forges, and even the Rilla if need be, if something happened to Chi-Yu. And so I was like, I think that's Sap Sipper far draft. It could have Sap Sipper, Early Bird, or Inner Focus, and it was Inner Focus. It blocked the fake out, and you know, I just want to show that like the Trick Room went up, and we actually waited it out correctly, which is something that the old version of this team could not have done, like, at all. We have correct protects, we have correct EVs, our mons have the correct amount of bulk, and we use the Pult to solidify the win in that late game situation like I was talking about before. So, pretty good situation for this first game. We're going to go into one more and see if we can find something a little bit more standard. So, let's hop right in. Alright, so I'd say that's pretty standard. We see Pelipper, we see Goldango. Pelipper's a little bit of a problem. But I do think that we can probably get away with, like, leading with whatever we want to lead with. I think that you can probably just lead Tornadus here against almost all of those mons. And then from there, like, enabling the right stuff is going to be a good play. I don't think we want to go Glimmora here because, like, Amoonguss just comes in and takes away the Toxic Spikes and stuff like that. So it's not really worth it to do that. I actually think, like, Torn Lando is going to be really, really good here with something like Dragapult Chi-Yu in the back to clean up. And hopefully we get these big wins, but... Realistically, I think that like Lando's going to be a huge bully in this situation. I hope that's not an Urshi Dark. It definitely could be, but it could also just be an Urshi Water on like a Raincore. So let's see how this goes. Probably going to be Sash, Masquerada, AV Hands, probably Citrus, Lefties, Specs, Dango, one of those three. Some sort of defensive item on the Amoonguss, probably like a Rocky Helmet. This tells me that it's Scarf Urshi Water because it's paired on a board with a Shenpao, and I don't think it's going to be like the Life Orb Shenpao. I think it's going to be more... like Sash Shenpao, Scarf Urshi, with like maybe, I wonder what the item is on the Pelipper. Maybe like a Mentor, maybe Citrus Berry, Rocky Helmet, Covert Cloak. Those could all be viable. Let's see. Waiting on them though. It's a really good idea to like understand like what your opponent's items could be in these situations. Note that they locked in Shenpao in the very first slot, which means they know they want to use this thing. Yeah, I don't see an actual issue with something like you can actually just like Icy Wind here and then make it Torn faster and then just go like Icy Wind, Icy Wind. That way you don't even need to set your Tailwind yet. So that's a good play. I don't think there's an issue with just Tailwind protecting right now. I don't see an issue with it. They're probably pivoting. And even if they were to go fake out Ice attack into the Torn and ignore our Lando, I think that's okay. We still get the Tailwind off because we're Covert Cloak. We don't need to risk our Lando. We can have a situation where we bring in Pult and Pult just bullies them out of this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pivot in like Pelipper maybe? Pelipper's a good pivot here. I want to see though if they also have like Ice Punch hands. Fake out Lando. Good, good. Tailwind. Trade Ice Spinner. Oh, they just attack that slot, huh? Yeah, go nuts. That's completely fine with me. I'm going to click this Bleak Wind. It's either Icy Wind or Bleak Wind here. Icy Wind would break Sash there, right? But Bleak Wind's so good, and I think there is a Pelipper coming in. So let's do it. There it is, boys. Bleak Wind's so much better. Yeah, protect. Oh, they protect anyways. Good play from them. But Bleak Wind's way better because that's so much more damage. Yeah. And then next turn, we just get the Pelipper off the board, I would say. What's the best way to get Pelipper off the board? I like that. So we taunt to stop Wide Guard. There's the Wide Guard. So next turn, Wide Guard will not work. And we can just go Bleak Wind, Rock Slide. That's the right plays. Bruh. We are out here right now. There's the hands. Protect. So it doesn't really matter. Yes, we could have clicked Earthquake and Bleak Wind there and still probably got it. But, like, this is fine. Great damage. This is all just free damage. So this last turn Tailwind. Sorry, Tailwind's gone. We can just re-Tailwind. Protect. They're going to want to go after this slot sooner or later. But I don't think it really matters. I think they're actually going to fake out the Torn here. Nope. They're just electric attacking that guy. That's fine. Take that recoil all the way to the bank. Absolutely easy peasy lemon squeezy with me. Really good on this Shempow for not losing its Sash yet, but I still think we're in a good spot. So I think we realistically can just go protect Earthquake here. Because they should want to bring in Pelipper, and then we'll just take the free damage on the hands. And then even if they bring in the Pelipper, we just Dark Pulse it. So the more they try and protect their Shempow, I think the better our board state's going to look in the later half of this game. But, I mean, they are a mon up right now. Grass Tera, dude, they actually did it. Okay. So they wasted a lot of resources this turn. They wasted a lot of resources. Like, basically, we can just click Heat Wave, Rock Slide now. And all we traded for it was a Protect. No more rain. You can bring that Pelipper back in. There it is. As long as we hit both these moves, we're good. Sashed up. Burn Pelipper. Rock Slide double hit. And just like that, see, we made them go all in and like reveal that Grass Tera. And at that point, like, it didn't really get him anything. This is totally Scarfed. El Scarfo here. So we're going to Terastallize our Lando. And they're going to probably fake out the Lando. But then we get to Heat Wave, and then they can't fight both Chi-Yu and Pult with an Urshi, in my opinion. And the Lando's still technically on the board. Oh, they fake out the Chi-Yu, yo. Where you looking, buddy? Tera Blast. I know you're Scarfed. I saw your Sash. I read it in the team preview. And we take those wins. Pretty much a masterclass on how to beat like a team like that. We did really well, like, managing the board states. They really should have just pivoted out that Shempow after they got Intimidated. Because after I got Intimidated, I didn't really have to care about it OHKOing our Torn. And we just never let them get one-shot our Lando. Note that we never even were forced to Tera either. We just kind of, every turn that Shempow could have ever actually threatened us, we protected. And in every other turn, we were layering up double damaging, going for like Bleak Winds plus Earthquakes, Bleak Winds plus Rock Slides, things like that, to be able to always KO it through any sort of like Sash that it might have had, which it did have. So I think we played really well in this one, and I think the changes that we made to this team actually, you know, showed themselves in these games. I think Dragapult is a great mon for closing games out. I think Taunt makes his thing a much better lead. Glimmora is still, like, hard to use. It's bad against things like Amoonguss, but Landorus is so much better. Hands is so much better. Tornadus is so much better. Hopefully you like these changes. If you're looking for something a little bit more passive, you might still think about wanting to add a Cresselia over the Iron Hands. And to anyone that still wants to submit teams, I'm still checking these posts daily. This is, again, Ghost Panda's post, and they said they just wanted some help with EVs and picking the right mon, so hopefully they like these changes. But if you have teams you want to submit, think about checking out the Patreon. We're doing our best to check out every single one of these. There's over 50 teams already submitted, but I'm going through every single day, fixing one or two, adding my changes, making videos on as many of these as I can. Even the lowest tier, the $2 tier, gets access to all these teams on Patreon, as well as all of my own teams that I use, as well as teams that don't get made into videos, as well as just a bunch of really cool stuff that I think will help you guys become the best Pokemon players you can be going into the upcoming DLC coming out on September 13th. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and other than that, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.